The rain pounded against the window of our small apartment in Seattle like it was trying to break in. Each drop a reminder that the world outside didn't care about the chaos inside. I was 20, juggling community college classes and a barista job at a downtown cafe, when the knock came sharp, insistent, cutting through the storm. I opened the door to find my older sister, Lena, soaked to the bone, her mascara running like black rivers down her cheeks, cradling a bundled newborn in her arms. "Ilara," she whispered, thrusting the baby toward me as if she were a package I'd ordered. "Her name's Ilara. I just can't do this right now." Her voice cracked, but her eyes were already distant, scanning the hallway like she was planning her escape. Before I could process, she shoved a diaper bag into my hands, muttered something about needing space to figure things out, and bolted down the stairs. The door slammed shut behind her, leaving me standing there with a crying infant whose tiny fists waved like flags of surrender. I didn't sleep that night. Ilara's wails echoed off the thin walls, piercing the quiet hours when the city finally hushed. I paced the living room, rocking her awkwardly, my heart hammering with a mix of terror and fury. Lena had always been the wild one, the sister who chased dreams like fireflies, flitting from one bad relationship to another, leaving me to clean up the messes. But this was a life, warm and fragile against my chest. By dawn, the crying had softened to whimpers, and as I mixed her first bottle with shaking hands, something shifted inside me. It wasn't choice, it was necessity. I called out from work, emailed my professors about a family emergency, and stared at the note Lena had tucked into the bag. "Take care of her for me. I'll be back soon. Promise." Soon stretched into days, then weeks. Her phone went straight to voicemail. Her social media accounts vanished like smoke. I searched online, called mutual friends, even filed a missing person report. But the cops shrugged. Adults disappear all the time. They said, "No foul play. No leads." The neighborhood whispered before I even stepped outside. "Mrs. Harlan from next door peeked over her fence, her voice laced with false sympathy. "Heard about your little bundle. So young to be a mom. But you'll manage." I forced a smile, but inside, resentment boiled. I wasn't a mom, I was a placeholder, thrust into a role I hadn't auditioned for. Yet, as Ilara's gray eyes locked onto mine during those endless feedings, a bond formed, quiet and unbreakable. I dropped out of school that semester, picked up extra shifts at the cafe, and learned to stretch every dollar. Diapers from discount stores, formula on sale, secondhand clothes from thrift shops. Nights blurred into a rhythm of exhaustion, her fevers that spiked without warning, the colic that turned hours into battles, the way she'd clutch my shirt as if I were her only anchor. I sang off-key lullabies our mom used to hum, the ones Lena had forgotten long ago. One evening, as Ilara finally drifted off, her breath steady against my shoulder, I whispered into the dim light, "We're in this together now." But doubt lingered like a shadow. Would Lena really come back? Or had she rewritten our story without me? Months turned into a year, and the assumptions hardened into facts in people's minds. At the local park, other moms in yoga pants and strollers eyed me with pitying glances. "Single parenting is tough," one said, her tone dripping with unsolicited advice. "But kids are resilient." I nodded, biting back the truth. This wasn't my choice, but it was my reality. Ilara's first steps happened on our worn carpet, her chubby hands reaching for mine as she wobbled forward. I captured it on my phone, the video shaky from my laughter and tears. Birthdays came and went, her first with a homemade cake that collapsed in the oven, her second with balloons I blew up until I was dizzy. I enrolled her in daycare, when she turned 2, scraping together the fees from tips and odd jobs. Work became a refuge and a curse, steaming lattes for harried customers while my mind raced with worries about Alara's cough or the latest bill. Friends drifted away. Invitations to parties replaced by sympathetic texts. "You're so strong for doing this." Strong? I felt like glass, one crack away from shattering. Then the calls started. First, from a credit union, Lena's account, where I'd been added as an emergency contact years ago, showed suspicious activity. Charges in Vegas, then Miami, luxury hotels and spa treatments. My stomach twisted. She was alive, living it up while I clipped coupons for baby food. I ignored the first few voicemails, but curiosity gnawed at me. One night, after tucking Alara in, I dialed back. "We're seeing transactions that don't match her profile," the rep said. "Can you confirm?" I hung up, my hands cold. Why drag me into her mess now? The silence of her absence had become my normal, but these echoes pulled at old wounds. Alara stirred in her sleep, murmuring "mama" in that soft, trusting voice. I wasn't her mama by blood, but by every scraped knee I'd kissed, every story I'd read until my voice hoarse. As the rain started again outside, I taped Lena's old note inside a drawer, a reminder not to forget the betrayal that had shaped us. But deep down, I knew families aren't just born, they're built, one quiet sacrifice at a time. By Alara's 3rd birthday, our life had settled into a fragile routine. I landed a better job at a bookstore, with flexible hours that let me pick her up from preschool. She was talking in full sentences now, her curiosity endless. "Why do stars hide in the day?" she'd ask. Her head tilted like she expected me to know all the answers. I didn't, but I tried. Library books on astronomy, park picnics under cloudy skies. The judgments never fully stopped. At family gatherings with distant relatives, they'd cluck their tongues. "Such a shame Lena couldn't handle it. Good thing you stepped up." Stepped up? I'd leaped, blind and terrified. One afternoon, while folding her tiny jeans, I caught my reflection in the mirror, bags under my eyes, hair in a messy bun, but a softness in my smile that hadn't been there before. Motherhood had carved me, not broken me. Yet, the financial threads kept pulling. Another call, overdraft notices, loans in Lena's name that listed me as guarantor. I confronted it head-on this time, demanding they remove me. "She's ghosted everyone," I told the banker, including her own daughter. His sympathy was professional, detached. That night, Alara climbed into my lap during story time, her fingers tracing the pictures. "You're my best friend," she said sleepily. My throat tightened. Friends don't abandon, they stay. As I turned off the light, the weight of it all pressed down, Lena's freedom bought with my youth. But in the quiet, with Alara's even breathing filling the room, I felt a fierce protectiveness bloom. This was our story now, and I'd fight to keep it that way. The coffee shop buzzed with the afternoon rush, steam hissing from the espresso machine as I wiped down counters. My mind miles away on Alara's upcoming kindergarten enrollment. She was 5 now, all energy and questions, her laughter a balm against the grind. I'd scraped together the deposit, but the form stared back at me. Mother's name. I hesitated, then wrote mine, Jenna Hale. What else could I do? Lena had been a ghost for years, her sporadic charges popping up like taunts from afar. Then, one crisp autumn day, as I buckled Alara into her car seat after school, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something tugged. "Jenna? It's me. Lena." Her voice was polished, confident, like she'd rehearsed. My world tilted. "Where are you?" I managed, gripping the wheel. "Back in town. Can we meet? I miss you both. She appeared at our door that evening. Transformed, designer coat, manicured nails, a diamond glinting on her finger. Engaged, she beamed, hugging me stiffly before kneeling to Alara's level. Hey, sweetie. Remember me? Alara hid behind my legs, peeking out warily. Who's that? She whispered. Lena's smile faltered for a split second, then brightened. I'm your mommy. Honey. I've been away, but I'm here now. The air thickened, charged with unspoken accusations. I invited her in, more out of shock than welcome, and we sat at the kitchen table while Alara colored in the corner. Lena spun her tale. Postpartum depression, a cross-country soul search, therapy, and now, stability with her fiancé, Marcus, a tech exec from Silicon Valley. I want to make things right, she said, eyes glistening. But her gaze kept drifting to Alara. Possessive, not tender. That night, after Alara was asleep, Lena lounged on the couch like she owned it. You've done amazing with her, she said, sipping wine I'd poured to ease the tension. But now I can take over. Marcus's family has resources, private schools, vacations. She deserves that. My blood ran cold. Take over? I've been her everything for 5 years. She waved it off. Temporary help. Sis. Blood is blood. The word stung, reducing my sacrifices to a footnote. Over the next days, she lingered, inserting herself, picking Alara up from school without asking, buying flashy toys that cluttered our space. Alara warmed slowly, drawn to the novelty. But at bedtime, she'd cling to me. Don't let her take me away. I held her close, whispering assurances, but doubt crept in. Was I selfish for wanting to keep her? The whispers started anew. Neighbors saw Lena's sleek SUV parked outside, assuming a happy reunion. At work, a co-worker clapped me on the back. Great, your sister's back. Must be a relief. Relief? It felt like invasion. One evening, I found enrollment papers for a fancy preschool on the counter, Lena's signature bold at the bottom. Mine nowhere. What's this? I demanded. She shrugged. Just planning ahead. Marcus's dad, Victor, insists on the best. Victor, the patriarch of a wealthy clan, all boardrooms and influence. Lena was marrying into power, and Alara was her ticket to fitting in. I confronted her that night, voices low to not wake the child. You left her crying in my arms. Now you waltz back for a perfect family photo. Her eyes hardened. I needed time. You got to play mom. Now it's my turn. Play? The word ignited something primal. I'd forfeited dreams, nights, pieces of myself. This wasn't a game. As the wedding approached, Lena's visits ramped up. She hosted a family dinner at our place, inviting Marcus and Victor, who arrived in tailored suits, exuding entitlement. Victor barely glanced at me, mistaking me for the nanny. Girl, pass the wine. I complied, seething, while Lena laughed it off. Alara sat quietly, picking at her food, her hand finding mine under the table. Later, as they left, Victor patted Lena's shoulder. Good to see you're sorting the kid situation. Sorting? Like Alara was a loose end. That night, alone, I dug through old boxes, receipts, photos, medical records, proof of my motherhood, undocumented but real. A text from an unknown number buzzed. Check her emails. I hesitated, then hacked in using an old password. There it was, messages to Marcus about reclaiming my daughter from my sister's temporary care for the family's image. My heart shattered, then hardened. She wasn't back for love. She was back for leverage. The pre-wedding tension built like a storm. Lena pushed for Alara to be flower girl, practicing in our living room while I watched from the shadows. Alara tripped once, tears welling. I don't want to go with her. I scooped her up, glaring at Lena. She's scared. Lena rolled her eyes. Kids adapt. But Alara's fear mirrored my own. I confided in a friend, Riley, who helped me organize documents.
This is war, she said.
Quiet, but war. One afternoon, at the school office, the secretary frowned. Guardianship updated. You're secondary now. Lena's handiwork. Fury surged. I printed copies, forwarded to a lawyer I'd quietly consulted. The pieces aligned, Lena's return timed with the engagement, erasing my role to polish her narrative. The rehearsal dinner unfolded in a swanky Seattle venue. Crystal chandeliers casting fractured light over linen tables. Lena glowed in a silk dress, toasting to new beginnings, her arm linked with Marcus. Victor raised his glass, to family, blood, and chosen. His eyes skipped me, seated at the edge like an afterthought. Alara fidgeted beside me, her flower girl dress itching. As speeches droned, I felt the weight of my folder in my bag, evidence stacked like armor. Lena caught my eye, her smile too sharp. Later, in the powder room, she cornered me. Don't ruin this, Jenna. It's my fresh start. And Alara? I shot back. She's not a prop. She laughed lightly. She's mine. Courts favor biology. That night, back home, Alara crawled into my bed, whispering nightmares of being taken away. I held her, vowing silently to fight. The anonymous texts continued, scans of Lena's custody filings, clauses limiting my access post-wedding. She's planning to ship her off, one read. Boarding school brochures attached. My lawyer confirmed. It's aggressive, but flimsy. You've got the history. We prepared petitions, affidavits from teachers praising my stability. Riley helped scan everything. This proves love over lineage. As wedding day neared, tension coiled. Lena paraded Alara at fittings, cooing for photos. But Alara's smiles were forced. One evening, Victor called. We're thrilled about the little one joining us. Lena mentioned your assistants. Assistants? The word demeaned every sleepless night. The wedding morning dawned gray, Seattle's fog mirroring my mood. At the church, guests milled, unaware of the undercurrents. Lena in her gown, veil perfect, glided like a queen. Alara stood with me in the vestibule, her hand sweaty in mine. As the music swelled, she tugged. I don't want to walk alone. But Lena had insisted. Know me in the processional. The doors opened. Alara froze, then bolted down the aisle, not scattering petals, but rushing past Lena to cling to me at the back. I stay with you, she cried, loud enough for echoes. The organ faltered. Gasps rippled. Lena's face paled under her makeup. Victor stood. What's this? I stepped forward, voice steady. The truth. I handed him the folder. 6 years of raising her while Lena vanished. This isn't reunion. It's reclamation for show. The chaos erupted softly. Whispers. Phones out. Marcus looked stunned. Victor scanned pages, his jaw tightening. Lena hissed, "You're jealous." But her voice cracked. Guests shifted uncomfortably as I detailed the abandonment, the charges on her cards while I struggled, the plans to sideline me. Alara buried her face in my dress. She's my real mom. The minister paused the ceremony. Victor pulled Lena aside, their argument muffled but heated. You lied, he said, audible to nearby rows. She pleaded. It was temporary, but the folder spoke louder. Doctor notes with my signature. School forms listing me as guardian. Photos of milestones she'd missed. One woman approached. "You're the hero here." Phones captured it all. By evening, clips circulated online. Abandoned sister fights back at wedding. The ceremony limped on. Vows exchanged in hushed tones. But the joy evaporated. Reception murmurs focused on us. Victor cornered me later. We didn't know the full story. He handed back the folder, marked with his notes. "This changes things." Lena avoided my gaze, her new ring glinting mockingly. As we left, Alara skipped ahead. We won? Not yet. But the tide turned. Back home. My phone exploded, supportive messages. Viral shares. The court clerk called, hearing expedited due to public interest. Lena's voicemail arrived. "Bitter. You turned her against me."
No.
"I thought. You did that yourself." Riley high-fived me. Truth bombs work. But victory felt hollow. Betrayal's sting lingered. Post-wedding, fallout rained down. Marcus distanced himself. Whispers of annulment. Victor invited me to his office. A glass tower overlooking the sound. "Lena painted you as temporary help," he admitted. Sliding over emails, her plans to reintegrate the child for family optics. Boarding school as backup. She saw Alara as an asset. My anger flared. "She's a child, not stock." He nodded.
Weary.
"I'll testify if needed." Gratitude mixed with wariness. Powerful men rarely act without motive. But his regret seemed genuine. At home, Alara drew pictures of us together. "No Lena in sight." "Forever?" she asked. "Forever," I promised. The hearing loomed. My lawyer prepping. Focus on stability. Bonds. Lena's side pushed biology. Resources. But affidavits poured in. From daycare workers, neighbors, even a teacher who'd seen Alara's attachment. One night, Alara recorded a video. "Jenna's my mom because she loves me every day." Tears pricked as I watched. Lena texted threats. "Drop this, or it'll get ugly." Ugly? It already was. The courthouse steps gleamed under morning sun, a deceptive calm before the storm. Inside, the room smelled of polished wood and stale coffee. Benches creaking under shifting bodies. Lena sat across, composed in a tailored suit, her lawyer whispering strategies. Alara waited in a side room with a social worker, her absence a void. The judge, a no-nonsense woman with sharp eyes, called order. Lena's attorney opened. Biological rights. Financial security. Reformed life. He painted me as overattached kin, not parent. Exhibits flashed. Lena's therapy records. Marcus's income statements. Promises of elite education. Victor, surprisingly, testified neutrally. I believed her version until evidence showed otherwise. Murmurs followed. My turn. The lawyer laid it bare. Abandonment note. Years of soul care. Documentation mountain. Witnesses spoke. Alara's teacher on her thriving under my roof. Riley on my sacrifices. Then Alara entered. Small but resolute. The judge leaned down. "Who makes you feel safe?" Alara pointed to me. Her. "She's my mom." Lena's facade cracked. A tear escaping. Her final plea. "I made mistakes. But I'm ready now." The judge paused, then ruled. Full custody to me. Supervised visits for Lena. No relocation without approval. The gavel's echo released my held breath. Lena slumped. Victor nodded solemnly.
Outside.
Alara ran into my arms. We did it. Relief washed over. But scars remained. Post-ruling. Life recalibrated. Lena's visits started awkward. Alara polite but distant. "Why'd you leave?" she asked once. Lena faltered. "I was scared." Honesty flickered. But trust rebuilt slowly. Marcus filed for divorce quietly, citing irreconcilable differences. Victor reached out. Fund for Alara's college, no strings. I accepted warily, earmarking it for her future. Online. The story faded, but comments lingered. Real moms show up. At home. Normalcy returned, school runs, bedtime stories. Alara's drawings evolved. Us as a team. Lena sometimes in the background. One evening, Lena called. Can we talk? Alone. We met at a neutral cafe. Her without the polish. I envied you, she admitted. You were always the steady one. I thought reclaiming her would fix me. Vulnerability surfaced. It doesn't erase the hurt, I said. She nodded. I know. No full forgiveness, but a truce. Back with Alara. I tucked her in. Families are messy. She smiled. But ours is ours. Years blurred after the ruling. But the echoes of that betrayal shaped us subtly. Alara grew into a confident teen. Her questions about Lena evolving from confusion to understanding. Supervised visits became occasional dinners. Lena's life stabilizing in a quieter job. No more high society chases. She never fully reclaimed the role, but glimpses of regret softened edges. Victor faded into occasional checks, his empire's shadow lifting. I returned to school part-time, earning a degree in social work, helping others navigate abandonments like ours. Riley joked, from barista to badass advocate. Alara's pride shone. You're my hero. One rainy night, mirroring that fateful evening, Alara sat with me on the couch. Why do fights so hard, she asked. I paused, emotion swelling. Because love isn't given, it's proven. You deserved someone who stayed. She hugged me. You did. Lena's final olive branch came via letter. Thank you for being what I couldn't. No apology, but acknowledgement. I filed it away, like the old note, reminders of resilience. Looking back, the worst betrayals whisper, reshaping lives in silence. But truth, when voiced, roars. What defines family, blood, or bonds? The question lingers, haunting choices we make in the quiet.